God was allowed to have John on his lap before the crucifixion. The situation called for it, as long as Jesus Christ wanted it. I never really liked it a lot in Scripture, but I get it. Because Jesus was about to die for the sins of mankind, that's the type of comfort he coveted and wanted, and that's what he got. So John was on his lap. Here's the thing. I've had confirmation that Todd Montanaro was on Jesus' lap as judge over the last 50 years. You have to ask yourself if it's the same thing with the same intention and motive. Jesus Christ got comfort from John before he died, being crucified, because he was about to be greatly destroyed and honored. There was a certain type of hurt there, and Jesus Christ allowed that hurt to be ministered to. God the Father allowed it to be ministered to, and John ministered to it. Okay, so that's where Jesus Christ was hurt, and because he was about to die, it makes sense. But sitting in heaven at the right hand of God the Father as judge, why would you need Tom Montanaro in your lap? You don't need that comfort. You're not dying. You're now judging a righteous Christian, someone who's born to serve the Lord, who already had the misfortune of Full Gospel Tabernacle, got demolished. I mean, lost so much. Then kept losing and 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 kept losing. So why do you need Todd on your lap to judge that vessel? It's not remotely the same thing. And I got confirmation from a dream about a week ago that you've essentially had Todd on your lap, just like you had John on your lap. So if I have to prove it's not remotely the same thing, it'll be easy eventually for me to do. 2 or 3 conversations will do it. It's not the same thing. Jesus didn't need the comfort that he needed at the crucifixion, one day before the crucifixion. That he didn't need that comfort. He was judging a righteous Christian who had been horribly wronged, who was doing everything in his power to try to fix things and make things right. And he had Tom Montanaro on his lap as a judge, comforting himself as he was horrifically evil and hard on me. Horrifically. So the two aren't the same. They just aren't. I never got relief. Never, ever, 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 ever. I expected it between 2011 and 2015. I never got any relief. Only what I offered myself. So for Jesus Christ to have Todd on his lap, for Todd to be on his lap, and for that to be there, it's not the same, because if you need comfort before crucifixion, then you need that comfort. But if you're just a judge judging a righteous servant who's being as righteous as they can be between 2011 and 2015, and you have his skeletons in his closet on your lap, and you have his aunt on your lap, and you have contention on your lap, and you have all these things on your lap, are you permitted to have those things on your lap? Is it right for you to have those things on your lap? You needed it before the crucifixion. It was allowed. It was something that was allowed. But no, what you did with Todd Montanaro, you just did. It really wasn't allowed. You just said, well, I'm judge. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to do this. But was it wise to do that? Just like you should have chastened your church over the last 50 years instead of warning them. Was it wise for you to do what you did? Was it wise for you to not chasten your church for 50 years? No, it wasn't. But that's what you did, because you kind of missed the scriptures there. It wasn't wise. You warned them for 50 years, but you never chastened them. And it wasn't wise. And it also wasn't wise for you just to throw Todd Montanaro on your lap over the last 50 years and judge alongside of him, because you could skew judgment. That was afforded to you before your crucifixion and death, so you could be comforted. Not so you could exalt yourself. Not so that you could pwn someone and receive their energy and mock them. You know, as a judge, you're accountable to judge in righteous judgment. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling the listener, the decision to put Todd on your lap was the wrong decision. And it cost a lot. It cost a lot in a lot of different ways. Because you needed that before you died on the cross, but you didn't need it as a judge. You maybe coveted it and you desired it and you wanted it to make your life easier. But a righteous judge allows their lives to be difficult and then judges righteously. If you allow yourself to be gay and lame there, then it's no surprise your judgment is so corked. Your judgment really isn't a true judgment. It's not true. It's not narrow. So you basically gave yourself a right, afforded yourself a right that, according to Scripture, should not have been afforded you. Just like you should have chasing your church over the last 50 years. Your decision not to do that should not have been afforded you either. So you should have both chasing your church and taken Todd off your lap over the last 50 years, according to Scripture. But you gave yourself permission to do both. Only warn your church, never chasing them, and allow Todd to be on your lap for 50 years so that judgment can be skewed and thwarted and corked, and not a righteous judgment. So I'm pointing out what you did, the truth. I'm pointing it out, and so we could see that before the crucifixion, John on your breast and sitting on your lap was allowed, but not in judgment. It's not allowed. It's something that you should have disallowed. And you would have seen the Scriptures clearer. Maybe you would have chasing your church. I believe you probably would have. So you wouldn't have missed that one. And then you wouldn't have been so hard on me with your church chase, and everything ends differently. And it will be proven. You having Todd Montanaro on your lap was not the right decision. Just like not chastening your church was not the right decision, according to Scripture. And I believe I proved both. I believe, you have to chasten a babe church. And I did that video about a year ago. You have to chasten that church, or else it's not going to grow right. You have to. And you have to obey Scripture and realize that John on your lap was allowed before the crucifixion, but nothing like that should have been allowed as a judge, because it can sway. And guess what else was cost in the sway beside myself, who is now gravel? I got demolished. Guess who was affected beside myself? Your church, because they were never chastened. And like I said before, I believe if Todd was not on your lap, you would have seen that you have to chasten. You would have seen it, and you would have done it. But because you afforded yourself something that you should not have, according to a deep understanding of the Scripture, you shouldn't have had Todd on your lap. You missed a chastening. You were too hard on me. And you kind of missed what needed to occur. Like I said, I had boots on the ground. I saw this stuff. You should have listened to me and trust my interpretation. Instead, you went with what you wanted to go with. Todd was on your lap. You were soft in that regard. And then you were incredibly hard on me and soft on everyone else. And it's not a good thing. It's just not good. So Todd should not have been on your lap, and you should have chastened your church. These things are primary to having a healthy, functioning, flowing church, which does not exist today in 2026. We are so far from that, it's not even funny. Okay, so these are the things that you should have disallowed.